What's up, Browns fans? Welcome to episode 11 of the Dawgs podcast. Let's kick this thing off.
Welcome to the Dawgs podcast with your hosts Blake Reneker, Zach Kopp, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to see you guys back in the studio. We made it to episode 11 now. Our last two episodes still going on, the contest. If you're watching this now, I want everybody to know you got until Saturday night, midnight, or 11:59 p.m. Saturday night. Get your votes, comments, shares in on the last two episodes, the all-decade drafts. And we'll announce the winners come Monday morning. So last chances to get your T-shirt. You got a couple more days. So far, we've been getting a lot of good feedback on those. It's been a lot of fun for everybody. So if you want to get a free T-shirt, go back, watch those episodes, and get your votes in before midnight Saturday night. What's up, everybody?
Oh, just living the dream, man. Just living the dream.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
So a couple things going on around the league this week. One thing that definitely brought a smile to my face, NFLPA approves the changes for the CBA, paving a way. It looks like we're going to have a 2020 NFL football season unless, the sky comes crashing down. We're going to have NFL football in about a month.
I was just going to say, thank God.
Yeah.
It's that little worry in the back of your mind for any NFL fan just saying, please just let them do it. Just let them play.
Like, if you watched, you knew I was pretty adamant that it was not going to get canceled, but
you still had that little fear in your gut.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to wake up in that world, where there was no Browns football. I didn't even want to think about it. And what was going to happen to our show? We're going to have to turn this into like a Grey's Anatomy podcast or something.
I don't know anything
What we could do if they cancel the season is just do what the Major League Baseball is doing and just have cardboard cutouts of us sitting in the studio here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we do.
We'll get together and all play a Madden season and then critique the game afterwards. So it's looking like there's no preseason, though. That is the one thing that...
I'm fine with that. There's just less chance for any of my favorite Browns players to get hurt.
Right. I think, and we kind of touched on this before, but I think that it's going to hurt us in a little way.
Yeah, I agree.
Like somebody, like I was kind of looking this up, like a Myles Garrett. You might think, oh, how's that hurt Myles Garrett? Myles Garrett hasn't played a football game in 10 months.
He's fresh, man. He's fresh.
I know, but that's a long time to be away from like actual. I mean, and you'll get a little bit of it in training camps and stuff like that, but nothing like a real game.
Well, we have all new coaching staff.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I think we really are going to be starting out behind the 8 ball more than normal.
Yeah, so who would you guys say is our best linebacker right now on the roster? Who do you think's our best one?
Mac Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, Mac Wilson, all right? So Mac Wilson's our best linebacker. This is his second season. He's got to learn a new defense in his second season. And they come out and he said that the defensive coordinator Joe Woods said linebackers, you guys, all on a level playing field. We'll see who, when we get to camp, who the starter is going to be. So we don't even know.
I mean, they're going to have 6 weeks of training camp. They'll figure it out.
We'll see. It worries me a little bit.
Hey, they don't play. We don't have preseason games in high school. We don't have preseason games in college.
Yeah, but you're not going against NFL talent either on the other side.
Yeah, but they still figure out their play calls.
Dover plays a local Canada team that they fly on a Thursday night and beat 56-6.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, as far as like verbiage and system, you learn all that in practice. So I'm less obviously, I wish I'd like to see some game reps against another team, but I'm not as worried about knowing the system than the language of the offense and that kind of stuff. Like that's literally all they've been doing for the last 2 months virtually is probably learning the system.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that I'm kind of worried about going into the season.
I agree with you. I'm there with you.
New line hasn't played together, rookie lineman. And
that needs to transition to a completely new position.
There's a lot of question marks, I feel like, that will get answered week 1.
Well, we'll get into the schedule here coming up real shortly.
One more thing that we need to keep in mind is that, so we're recording this on Sunday. People will listen on Thursday. This week is that opt-out week for NFL players. Mm-hmm. So if a guy decides he wants to opt out for medical reasons, it says here he'll receive a $350,000 stipend for the season. And if you're opting out just for opting out, you just don't want to play this year, you just don't feel like it's going to be for you or whatever, it's $150,000 stipend.
Yeah. So, and we did see, I think somebody touched on it, might have been Justin, said that one of the Chiefs linemen backed out already.
Laurent Duvernay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't back out because he didn't want to play, or he's backing out because he is going to be a doctor to help with the COVID relief.
Yeah,
which is what he's been doing. He just doesn't want to quit doing that.
Yeah, I think that we'll see a couple. I think there'll be some that back out. I don't know if it'll be any of the big name guys because they're giving up a lot of money. But maybe some of your smaller, second team type guys that are out there in games.
I'm kind of curious to see what all happens. Like, so they're doing the basketball right now, and they just caught Lou Williams at, an Atlanta strip club, just hanging out while he was there, on a medical relief for the week. So I'm curious to see how much of that we'll see and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, the only other news that I saw out there NFL wise was Alex Smith trying to make his comeback.
It's exciting.
Still signed with the Redskins, and I was talking with Blake and Justin the other day, and I'm gonna go out there and say that Alex Smith's a starter week 1.
It's a huge hot take. It's a crazy hot take.
Let's not get into this yet because we're going over the schedule today, and they're on our schedule.
All right.
I'll let you say this nonsense here in a minute.
All right.
One more big thing that did happen in the NFL this week, Jamal Adams, strong safety from the Jets, traded to the Seahawks. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Seahawks gave up a ton.
Yeah.
A ton. A 2021 first-round pick, a 2021 third-round pick, a 2022 first-round pick, and safety Bradley McDougall, who is, if he's not a full-time starter, he plays 80% of the snaps for the defense. I can't believe how much they give up for him.
It's like Sonny Weaver Jr. called him up and told him to eat his pancakes.
Yeah.
I was super confused what was going on. It's a lot. It's a lot.
This is the kind of thing you see with teams like the Seahawks, though, right? So they have a Super Bowl window, a legitimate Super Bowl window. They've got a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
Absolutely.
They've got, the run game. They've got the coach, the philosophy. They need those defensive pieces to really get them where they need to be within this window. So for them, they're saying, okay, well, that first round pick in 2 years, I don't even care about it right now because our window's now.
Yep.
Jamal Adams is now. So that's what they're thinking.
I guess if you got your quarterback, first round picks, especially if you got your quarterback and you plan on winning 10 games, your first round picks aren't as valuable.
Right.
To us Browns fans, we're thinking, that's a top 3 pick. That's a
How
top
could
5
you?
Yeah, that's a top 5 pick. So I guess that alters the thinking a little bit. But man, you better win some games because if Russell Wilson comes out and tears his ACL this year and you win 2 games, you're going to really be regretting that you don't have a first-round pick.
Well, that's a risk you got to take no matter what. There's always the risk of injury.
Yeah, and the thing that I don't like about it, after I kind of thought about it, I wouldn't have gave up this much. And I wanted Jamal Adams, but I wouldn't have gave up this much for him, that he's only under contract through next season. That's it. Then he could leave again. So you're getting this guy that you better win now or next year, because if you don't, maybe he's thinking, well, I didn't win there. Who's going to make me the highest paid safety?
Yeah, well, he's still on that rookie contract, so you got to think Seattle's not giving up all this to bring him in and then not sign him.
Right.
That deal is going to get done.
What's crazy about this is how much they gave up for him, especially with the picks. A big complaint people have about the Seahawks is that they have Russell Wilson and really not much else. Like he carries them to 10 wins in the playoffs, and you just gave up a bunch of picks.
I think
so you're just putting more now. Russell Wilson, you just put more on his shoulders.
Yeah, but that run game, and it doesn't seem to matter who they put there. They run the ball well, and DK Metcalf was no slouch as a rookie. As a sophomore this year, I think he could really take that leap.
And there's, Josh Gordon was there last year, and they're saying that they want to bring him back. As long as he'd want to come back. We've said that he might have a better doesn't have anything to worry about.
He can chief up as much as he wants now. That's when he plays the best.
Could we just bring him back to Cleveland and say, hey,
oh my gosh,
show us what you could have done all those years?
Does he still have it?
He's only like 28?
Yeah, I would say he's not that old.
For as many years as we had to watch him not play because he was always suspended, he's not that old.
It's crazy to me too that everything he was got in trouble for, they're just going to allow now.
Yeah.
He definitely has a.
He was in the drug. So if you have like a drug problem in college, like you get busted for drugs in college, and then you get drafted, you're automatically in the NFL's like tier 2 program or whatever. So like one busted test, you're like automatically suspended. Like they count. So he came into the league because he got busted for weed in college.
Yeah, we took him in the supplemental draft.
Yeah, already like in the NFL's tier 2 punishment system or whatever. And, they're not even testing for it now. He would have came into the league clean slate. So then when he got busted for it the first time in the NFL, it would have been his first offense. He maybe suspended 1 or 2 games, and 2 he wouldn't be suspended at all now because they never would have checked for it. The NFL owes this guy a career basically.
Yeah, but then again, if you're going to look at it that way, they owe Ricky Williams a career. They owe, there's plenty of guys that have had.
I mean, Ricky Williams still was able to have a nice career.
That's true, and I did look here. So Gordon just turned 29. So he's 29, but his mileage is low.
Yeah, and he's just waiting
low.
on that reinstatement from the NFL. So I think as soon as that comes, you'll have 5, 6, 7 different teams throwing offers at him.
This could be a different year for Josh Gordon. Did anybody watch any of the Indians games
Yes.
last couple of days?
I watched Friday night's game.
I got to
Pretty much
listen
watched
a
the whole
little.
game.
Is it weird for you guys to see the empty stadium, or
Yes.
when you're watching the game on TV, do you not even notice?
So I was at a bar and they had like it up on the speakers, and I was just like, I didn't know exactly. I hadn't heard anything about what they were going to do, and I'm like, do they have fake crowd noise
Yeah.
on? Because it literally was like the Super Bowl was on. It was just like, and I'm like, wow, what happened? I mean, what's going on? And then I realized, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so they're piping in noise or whatnot.
Yeah.
Almost for I think it's from the show.
It is from the show.
From the show.
Okay, so from the video game, they're piping it. But I've always been a guy who liked listening to the Indians just because
Yes.
Tom Hamilton's one of the best ever. So it kind of gives me that little bit now of like, man, I really would rather listen to the game because watching the game, it's not. I don't think it's the same.
No, I did see some like funny things. Like, so yesterday there was a home run and there was a dog cardboard cutout sitting in the outfield, and it got crushed by the home run. And I was just like, this is awesome. I like dogs. So I'm like, this is so weird that we're doing this. But then like there's a walk-off grand slam opening night, and it was like super lackluster. Like if the crowd's there, that's.
I've been at the Indians game for a Travis Hafner walk-off grand slam, and it was insane.
It was probably quiet.
Yeah, you could have heard a pin drop. All right, well, that covers news around the league. So that brings us into what we really want to get into this episode. We're gonna go through our 16-game schedule. We don't have to do the preseason games anymore. We're gonna tell you who we think is gonna win, who we think is gonna lose, and why. Obviously, this is kind of like a way too early breakdown. If this is anything like last year, 2 minutes into week 1, I'm going to have to readjust all my picks, because if I would have done this last year, I had us going, 12-4, 11-5. And at the end of the first quarter of the Titans game, I had us going 1-15. So bear with us. If you don't agree, we'll see what happens when the season starts. But
I think it's important to say, too, before we do this, that we really haven't discussed the schedule amongst ourselves until now. So I don't know what's going to happen here.
I know that they're going to go to the playoffs. I know that they're going to go.
Yeah, okay. Then we are definitely getting into some arguments.
All right, so let's just dive right into this. Week 1, we play at the Ravens. I guess I'll just start. I'm chalking this up to a big L.
Ooh, yep.
And not because I don't have reservations about the Ravens this year or I think the Browns are going to be bad. It's just until I see this new system actually on the field that the Browns are going to run, and until we prove that we can play at their level, I'm not going to pick us to beat them in Baltimore. I know we just did it last year, but that was a Freddie fluke.
Yeah.
So to me, this is a tough opening game. If we can somehow pull this out, that'd be crazy, but I see the Browns starting 0-1.
Yeah. There's just too many unknowns with this new system, new head coach, new everything. I mean, and then to go on the road into Baltimore against that team, that defense, that offense, and they're not trying to relearn anything new. Yeah. It's just let's
do the same thing we did last year.
Pick up where we left off, and they were good last year.
Yep.
I think a lot of people have them listed over the Chiefs as having the best roster in the league.
They're definitely up there. I got us losing that first one too. I think it'll be close, just because it's a division game,
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter if one team's got a way better team than the other in our division. It always seems like every game's tight.
Well, that's true, and they don't get a preseason either,
right?
So there's going to be rust on both sides of the ball. It's just their learning curve to start the season is nothing like what ours is going to be.
Right. Yeah. So I think like a big part of the Browns can win this game. I mean, we saw it last year.
Mm-hmm.
They can beat this team if you stop Lamar Jackson, or if you get a lead. Okay, that's the biggest thing
And
against the Ravens. And then they have to throw the ball, because if you're letting them control the game and the pace, and he's able to run at will, I mean, they're hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get them behind, like Cleveland did last year, we went up on them early, and then they had to dig out of that hole, and they just could never recover. Especially now, Browns are going to be able to run the ball. Well, we were able to run the ball last year when we did it, but we'll be able to control a game, I feel, a lot more this year.
Yeah, me and Blake were talking about that on the way home. I see a lot of their games this year being like AFC North, kind of grind them out, ball control. I'd like to say that we have this, a great other side of the ball where the defense can, shut down. Maybe we get a couple stops here and there, but like I see us controlling the ball. I agree with you too, Zach, that it's going to be close, but it's a lot, especially new system. There's going to be some mistakes, I think, and it's a lot to ask for just going in there and beating them in their house.
I will say this, and I don't know how many of our listening Browns fans are going to ridicule me, but I'm kind of excited to watch J.K. Dobbins out there. I know he's on the other team, but he was so fun to watch for the Bucs.
To me, that's a big reason why I pick us to not win this game is I think Dobbins is special. And look at that run game last year with Mark Ingram. And Mark Ingram's good. I think J.K. Dobbins way better than Mark Ingram.
But Ingram is still a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. You think
31 years old
already than Ingram? You think he's already a better running back?
I think he's faster. I think he's better.
Oh.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see. I think they split carries for most of the year. And then just hot hand in a game type of a situation. That'll be the team where you draft one of the running backs on fantasy and you get real mad that he had 6 carries one week, then next week he had 25 and he's sitting on your bench type of a team. But yeah, Dobbins, it is going to be exciting to see him play and see how successful he can be in that system.
Everybody focuses on Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And if I'm a defensive coach, I'm saying make him hand the ball off. When they run their read option, I'm selling out to stop Lamar Jackson, which leaves their running backs wide open. So, obviously it's tough offense to stop. That's why they won 12 games last year, 13 games, something like that. So,
the other thing I was gonna say real quick, one thing that kind of thinking about it now that we could come out and like surprise us, because I think we all got them losing, right?
Correct.
All got them losing week 1, but I know this kind of from coaching like a baseball standpoint, like. You get your season, right? You know who you're playing week 1, okay? So you know who you're prepping to play week 1 way ahead of time. It's not like a week-to-week thing where you're like, all right, well, we just won a game on Sunday. We got to get ready for the Ravens in 6 days type of a thing. Joe Woods and Stefanski, they're planning for this months in advance, to have their game plan of what they're going to try to do in that first game.
And it called me crazy too, but home field advantage might not be as big of a thing as we think it's going to be. We don't know what's going to happen yet.
Right.
I've got a couple of people that I know that are season ticket holders, and they're already saying, I'm definitely not going to be able to go to, based on what Cleveland, the organization, saying, I'm not going to be able to go to those games. We might just see a situation where there's no fans.
Right.
And then what's that turn into?
Whoever has the best sound system.
Yeah.
If they got nice subwoofers, that's the home field advantage.
Right.
All right, so we got 0-1 around the table, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Tough opening week. Hopefully we're a little bit more competitive in this week 1 matchup than we were against the Titans last year, though.
Yes. And no punches thrown.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see.
All right, so week 2, Thursday night, prime time, sees the Browns pitted up against the Cincinnati Bengals and number 1 overall pick Joe Burrow. To me, this is if we're playing the way we're capable, which is the way I'm attacking this, I think we smoke them.
We have to win this game. I literally, if we lose this game, it's going to be another thing where I think Zach's the one that's talked about it before, where we're 0-5, and we're like, well, if we win the next, 7 games, we can get back into the hunt, I don't want to, keep living my life this way. I'd like to, at least be tied with somebody, in the first couple weeks but they're on paper, their roster is not that bad. And with healthy players, I think that we're more talented, but if a healthy AJ Green's out there, they've got some weapons. I mean, I watched Cincinnati dominate them in Cincinnati last year. And now, we're a different team as far as head coaching wise and personnel wise. But
I also think that game you went to, the Browns
could care less.
They were like, we cannot do anything
good
to give them an excuse to bring Freddie back.
Yes,
I think
agree
the players were all in on getting him out.
Yeah,
and they were not going to do anything.
I remember thinking that as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, if we win any more games, they might keep Freddie. I mean, they've done dumber things, Hugh Jackson. So 3 years in a row,
right? Yeah, I got us winning this game too. And I could have said this in the first game, but opening line's got Browns as 8-point favorite. That's a pretty big favorite. In week 2 here against the Bengals, I think that the preseason we kind of talked how does this affect the Browns? I think it really affects Joe Burrow having to come in, no NFL reps. Preseason he's not going to play a lot, but getting on the field, kind of getting up to NFL speed is a little different than playing in college and the guys you're going against. But yeah. I said kind of earlier, we touched on our schedule a little bit when we were saying how we're going to make the playoffs. Wouldn't it not be so Cleveland to win week 1, look awesome, come out, lose week 2 to Cincy? And we'd be thinking, oh my God, we're going to win the division. We just got a game up on the Ravens, and then we come to Cincy and lose 10-6.
Yeah, not even go to Cincy. It's in Cleveland.
Oh yeah, in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, but it'd be very Cleveland if to do that though. I completely agree.
But I think we win. I think we lose week 1, win week 2, sitting at 1-1.
I'd love to watch this game because to me, I see this being kind of like a rout. I mean, Vegas sees it 8-point favorite for Vegas. That means they see us coming out and spanking them.
Yeah,
and I'd love to sit down and watch this game with Rob Ninkovich because I want Baker. I want Baker to throw for 3 scores, and I want Myles Garrett to just sack Joe Burrow 5 times, and then I can just give him the chop because.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to agree. I'll agree with you, but argue with you a little bit because I am agreeing with something Zach said a little bit ago. So I think we're going to win, but I do not think it's going to be a smoke. I think it's going to be maybe a 6-point win, something like that, kind of edge them out in the second half because, like you said before, Zach, this goes from Sunday to Thursday. It's a quick turnaround.
Yep. And
now all of a sudden you got to prepare for a new team at the beginning of the season where you had no preseason. You're still trying to find yourselves. You probably just got rocked by Baltimore. Who knows?
Right.
So I think we win, and you're right, the inexperience of Joe Burrow, their new pieces that they're trying to incorporate, I think our talent overcomes. But I just personally don't see this being a blowout.
Yeah, and just another division game.
Mm-hmm.
And,
right.
I mean, year after year, they're always close.
I just don't respect the Bengals.
I don't either.
I think AJ Green will probably already be hurt. Joe Mixon will, take him 8 games to get going. They still don't have a good offensive line. Joe Burrow's going to throw a couple picks, and I still think their head coach is terrible.
Yeah, their coach,
So that's my philosophy.
That's fair.
You got us winning this, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So we got everybody across the board, so we're sitting at 1-1.
Correct.
Consensus 1-1.
I like it.
All right, so that moves us into the newly branded Washington football team.
Very well done, Washington.
Yeah.
I guess they
Super
did this
original.
just because
they wanted to do something.
they had to do something, and they don't have time to roll out all new gear and all kinds of. I guess I don't know.
They should definitely switch and just do the Washington Sentinels.
Well,
I think that would be awesome.
Here's a big thing, though. I saw they probably have a name they like, but that real estate dude,
smart dude,
took all the names, and so they probably And if they want it, it's an NFL team that's probably, they're probably worth at least $1 billion.
Right.
So this guy's not giving up those names cheap.
No, right.
He's holding them ransom. So who knows what kind? They're either gonna have to think of a new name, or they got a long road ahead of them, and probably
the
court proceedings and stuff like that.
My personal opinion is that they should not have caved to the political pressure and scrapped the Redskins name 2 months before the season or a month before the season starts. They should have just said, yeah, we hear you. We'll address it. Season
it
starts in a couple months. Like, we got stuff to worry about first.
Yeah, like our team. They're trash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of trash, I see the Browns going 2-1 because
cool. Nice segue.
I feel like I love Ron Rivera. I was actually I was big on if the Browns could have brought him to Cleveland, but there's only so much you can do with this dumpster fire. And I know Zach had his hot take where he thinks Alex Smith's starting week 1. I don't think he's starting week 1. I think Dwayne Haskins is still starting, and I love Dwayne at Ohio State. Yeah. But, man, so far from what I've seen in the NFL, he is very bad.
He's having a lot of problems.
That's why I'm saying Alex Smith starts week 1.
I just don't know if he's physically going to – I mean, you're talking about how Myles Garrett hasn't played a football game in 10 months, so this no preseason could really hurt Myles. Alex Smith hasn't been able to walk in 3 years.
Almost cut
and you
his
think
leg
he's going to play week
so
1?
there's videos out there of workouts with Alex Smith in practice field, stuff like that.
Yeah, so. It is a rehab facility.
And let me tell you, he looks good in those workouts.
Yeah, like so. Don't tell. Yeah,
I'm saying. I mean, it's a totally different team if Alex Smith is your quarterback. If he returns to form or whatnot,
because it's a wheelchair league at that point.
If he comes back where he's that guy before that play happens. Yeah. He's
it's a totally
very legit.
Team.
Yeah.
Especially you got McLaurin now there or whatnot. He wasn't there when Alex Smith was there.
Right.
And then their defense, the thing that I got the Browns winning this game.
Yes.
And I think, by 2 touchdowns, something like that. But their defensive front is one of the best in the NFL.
Yep.
Is one of the best in the NFL. So that'll be obviously we're going to get a couple games, in, but that'll be a big test for our line of how they hold up against one of the best lines in the NFL. Now, the rest of the Washington team isn't any good.
Yeah. And they're always hurt. They just I feel like by week 6, there's so many holes on their team. That's one of my favorite teams for fantasy. I'm just
yeah.
Let me hit the waiver wire on all their running backs and,
right.
Yeah,
so I would say, Brown scores 17 points, you win the game because I don't think Washington's offense can score 17 points.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. If Case Keenum had not flipped sides of the field in this game and he was not on the Browns sideline, I'd be tempted to say we lose this game.
Oh, my God.
I would.
Wow.
So.
I
It's
would.
in Cleveland.
I know it's in Cleveland.
No home field anymore. I mean,
I'm just saying.
But do you have us winning now?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
I saw Dwayne Haskins play last year, too.
It's tough.
He does not look good.
No, and that's the thing. And you look at rookie quarterbacks, and none of them ever look great. But we talk about Baker. Mm-hmm. He showed flashes of, wow, this dude can play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even guys like Sam Darnold as a rookie showed, okay, he can be a competent quarterback if he had a good head coach. I didn't see that from Haskins, though.
Dwayne Haskins won, and then he couldn't even go in to take the knee with the game because he was taking a selfie with the fans.
Yes, that was awesome. Super
I forgot
embarrassing.
about that.
Yeah, and the media kind of made it a huge deal, and I kind of shrugged it off. But at the same time,
it's a huge deal. I mean,
imagine if a player,
if that had been Baker,
the world would have collapsed.
Or if they had a coach that disciplined the team at all. What are you doing, man? Get over here.
Yeah.
The game's not over.
Yeah.
You got to go take a knee.
We're not done
where's
yet.
the quarterback?
Can we get a place kicker in there real quick to take a knee? Can we do anything?
Yeah.
How about Alex Smith might be better than Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, he could take the knee. I don't even know if he can take the knee, bro.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see on that.
Throw the punter in there just to take the knee.
He'd have to just take the snap and just fall down. And sit. All right, so we're at consensus.
We're 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay, 2-1.
Everybody's agreeing here so far.
Yes.
We'll see next.
This moves us into at Dallas. I'm going to be honest. So I think talent-wise, I think we stack up with Dallas. I think we can beat them, but I don't know, Browns history, the negative in me, I don't know. I see us losing a close game here.
I see us getting rocked in this game. Dead serious. I mean, Dallas is, dude, they're good. They have a good team.
This is hard to pick because in years past, Jason Garrett was their coach, and I feel like they way underperformed considering their talent. And I think Mike McCarthy's a good football coach. And so if he's able to get the most out of the talent they have on their team, then this automatically becomes a tougher matchup. So it's hard for me to pick this because I don't know what they're going to be like under McCarthy.
They kept Kellen Moore at the OC.
Which is kind of crazy because a lot of people complained about their offensive play calling last year.
So
Kind of crazy because a lot of people complained about their offensive play calling last year.
Really?
Zeke, like never getting the ball, just letting Dak Prescott like go out and throw it 40 times a game, which worked against terrible teams, but against good teams, he wasn't that great.
It was also Moore's first time, first shot at that coordinator position. So this team has some serious talent. I mean, Zeke's going to have fun.
Yeah,
Zeke's going to have fun.
I think that this is one of those games where I don't know if the Browns can slow it down enough to keep it a low-scoring game. I think this might be one of those shootout-type games because the weapons that Dallas have
it's insane.
It's
and they loaded up some more.
Yeah,
they just keep
it's
loading
crazy what they have on the offensive side. So, but, I mean, the Browns got pieces too. So this is one of those games where we're going to be able to see, can the Browns keep up type of a thing. Because your defense, I mean, I think this game's going probably in the 30s. The winning team scoring 30, so first to 30 wins. But I think that it'll be an interesting test. I got us losing like a game. I think we lose this game being at Dallas. I know there's no home field, but being in Jerry World down there in Dallas is a little different. And I think that they beat us, 31-24 or something like that.
I see this being a game like a classic Browns game where there's like 3 minutes left in the fourth and we're driving or they're driving and something happens. Like where we're just, and then you have to sit there the rest of the day and just be like
Dwayne Rudd comes on the field and takes his helmet
yeah,
off.
and then they get another it wouldn't shock me at all like if we got down like into like 30s or something like that and then we got a penalty and got backed up and couldn't kick the field goal or something. Or we threw an interception or a fumble like with 2 minutes left. I could see it going. It's going to be a close game. I don't see us getting blown out. Now their talent's crazy. Like they are on offense. They are loaded pretty much everywhere.
Here's the thing, though. I want to throw this up to you guys. On paper, you put the Browns up against their roster. I think almost any day. It's I mean, it's hard to – we've never had a team like this with the Browns where we're so talented at all these positions. So, I mean, obviously Dallas has a lot of talent, but the Browns have a lot of talent.
Well, let's just say that real quick. So for this schedule breakdown, for the first time maybe ever, and maybe last year, we didn't know what we were talking about though, you can make the argument for a win or a loss in every game. Years past, it'd be really hard to make the argument for the win.
Yeah, no, you'd be like, oh, that team.
Yeah.
They'd
have to lose their entire starting.
Yeah.
So
get on Blake's point. I think that at tight end we're better, obviously. And then, but their line, I think, is.
You think their line's better than their line used to be very good. It's still good, but it's not at the level that it was a couple years ago. And you see that in Zeke's stats. His yards per carry and stuff has gone down a little bit. The Browns have as long as Jedrick Wills plays the way we think he can, the Browns have a very good offensive line.
Yeah.
My thing with this game is just going off the breakdown that we've already put together here throughout this. I see him winning a close game against Cincinnati at home. I see him giving it to Washington the very next week at home, riding a little high, going down to Dallas, and kind of getting checked a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, their wide receivers, though. Like, I love Jarvis and I love Odell. But Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and I know that we've kind of made comments. Michael Gallup had a pretty good year last year. 1,100 yards. Yeah, 1,100 yards receiving. Then you bring in CeeDee Lamb, and you still got Zeke. And Dak Prescott, I mean, I know he was kind of holding out, wanting a big contract, and a lot of people were like, oh, is he kind of worth it? He's big arm, athletic, can run the ball.
Do you think their receivers are better than ours? Is Amari Cooper better than...
As a core, just those three against like our three, I would say I'd take their three over ours.
Ugh, I don't know about that, man. I don't know. I think Amari Cooper's good, but I don't think he's as good.
Who's your third wide receiver you're throwing in with the Browns, though?
I'll put Higgins.
I gave you three guys that can easily get 1,000 yards.
So Gallup is probably better than Higgins, but I think...
Definitely better than Higgins.
Yes, but I think our 1 and 2 are both better than their 1. And CeeDee Lamb...
You think Jarvis is better than Amari Cooper? I don't think Jarvis
when Amari Cooper's not hurt and when he's playing Amari Cooper level, the dude is one of the best receivers. I mean, he really is. I've seen him make those sideline catches he makes sometimes. I'm like, I thought Dak was throwing the ball away.
Crazy thing though, like, and this is kind of like because I watched every game he played in college, but CeeDee Lamb might be their best wide receiver by the end of the year.
This is just a Sooner guy over here. I mean, come on now.
CeeDee Lamb is very good.
How many times do we always say that about college receivers that are very good and they come out and they do nothing?
CeeDee Lamb's pretty.
Like half of the Bengals roster was awesome wide receivers in college, and then they suck in the
you
pros.
And your T. Higgins or whatever that you.
No, like John Ross.
Yeah, but John Ross
AJ Brown or AJ Green, AJ Red, AJ Green was, I mean, very good.
Yes, do you find some? But I would say
and Tyler Boyd's not bad either.
He's not bad. He's not the best receiver on their team.
He was last year.
I'm telling you, we'll see. I mean, time will tell. But I think CeeDee Lamb he's Amari Cooper 2.0. I mean, he's built the exact same way, except for he's faster.
All right, so we've got
first quarter.
I got it.
Loss.
All right, so hey, look at that. We are still agreeing.
2-2, 500 going to week 5 against the Colts.
Are we there or home?
Yeah, we are in Cleveland.
Yep, we're at home. Phillip going against Old Man
Rivers.
To me,
Old Man.
I am not as high on the Colts as some people this year. To me, this is a win for the Browns.
A lot of people. So the over-under on the win total for the Colts is sitting at 9. That's the line for the win. So, a lot of teams got them as a playoff team right now. A lot of people got them as a playoff team.
I just don't understand.
Frank Reich is one of the better football minds in the NFL today, and their defense is legit. I mean, I like the Colts defense. Now, Phillip Rivers is a interception throwing machine.
He can't move.
Yeah, he kind of just, throws it up there. Now, they did improve their running game in Indy.
There's a microphone there, Zach.
I don't think, we kind of talked about this yesterday. So Justin had his fantasy draft, right? And and Blake was kind of going through the picks. And he's like, Marlon Mack didn't get picked till one of the last rounds. And I said, well, that's because Jonathan Taylor's going to be the starter.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. A lot of new pieces. I got Cleveland winning this one at home. Close game, 28-24, 27-23, somewhere in that range. Close game.
I think we're better at almost every position. And to me, Phillip Rivers is not a good quarterback anymore. And he's slow and he's old. And Myles Garrett's going to sack him 4 times because he can't get away from the rush. Or he's just going to chuck it up. And we have a pretty good secondary, a pretty good Grant Delpit if he's, a ball-hawking safety. To me, I don't know. I just don't think Phillip Rivers was the answer for the Colts at quarterback. To me, he hinders them more than he helps them.
Well, and they didn't have Jacoby Brissett wasn't a slouch last year for him. I mean, he wasn't a guy that cost you a game. That's the kind of quarterback Jacoby Brissett was.
He just didn't win you a game.
He didn't win you a game, but he wasn't going to lose the game for you.
And I think Phillip Rivers isn't going to win you a game, and he will definitely lose you a game.
Yeah.
When he throws his 4th or 5th pick.
It comes down to this. Cleveland loses this game if they catch 2 bomb touchdowns, and all of a sudden we're down 2 scores because Phillip Rivers just he was falling down, threw it 56 yards down.
T.Y. Hilton.
Hilton just ran under it.
What you're saying win?
I say win. I say it's a close one, 3 or 4 points.
Okay.
Win.
I'm going loss.
And
here's why, okay?
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
First of all, Frank Reich, I'm with you. He out-coaches Stefanski in this one. And I watched them just completely demoralize the Chiefs last year with Jacoby Brissett, and all they did was run, and their offensive line can do it. You're talking about Phillip Rivers getting sacked because he's slow and he's throwing picks for the Chargers. Now he's playing behind the offensive line in Indianapolis.
Did they really have that good of an offensive line?
Yeah.
They got your boy.
Yeah.
I saw him dunk a basketball on.
They got Andrew Luck early retired.
Yeah, but Andrew Luck, as smart as a guy as Andrew Luck is, sometimes he'd play stupid and just run into people.
Yeah, nice hit, brother.
I like the Colts, and there's not a big learning curve either for Phillip Rivers. One, he's been in the NFL forever, and he's familiar with Frank Reich and the offensive coordinator Nick Sirianni.
I'm just this is where I'm breaking off from the group
pack.
here. From the pack. I'm going loss.
I gotcha.
I think we're going to be a little heartbroken when we talk about this one.
Under 500 for Josh
Justin?
after week.
Very, very close game. Very ball control. I think a lot of running. I think Chubb, and then depending on if it's a combination of Taylor and Marlon Mack, I think it goes back and forth. I see a late Phillip Rivers interception being the difference. I see the Browns winning the game.
Yeah, this could be one of those games
Tight
where the Browns
game.
get up,
Very close game.
10 points, and there's this would be Cleveland. So we're up like 10 with 3 minutes to go. Phillip Rivers gets a ball, goes down the field, gets a touchdown. And okay, so Browns get the ball back, minute 30 left, something like that. And Browns, don't try to get a first down, run the ball, punt it back with about a minute left or whatnot. Phillip Rivers gets down to the 50, throws a pick. I could see that.
Yes, yeah.
Because he's done it numerous times.
Yes.
I just don't think I think that Phillip Rivers is arguably a Hall of Famer, but he's not at that level right now, I don't think. Not even close. I really don't think he's that good of a quarterback anymore. Like, I wouldn't have brought him in.
He's lost a little bit. I mean, he's always been known as a big arm guy, but he's lost a little bit of that zip on the ball that he used to have. I agree with that.
And his decision making is atrocious.
I think Phillip Rivers, I know he did not have a great year last year for the Chargers, but I don't know, guys. I see him doing okay. I see him doing well for Indianapolis this year. What was his contract? Did you guys talk? I'm sorry,
It's just a
wasn't.
one-year
it's
deal.
just a one-year deal and
yeah.
not very expensive either
Yeah.
because I don't think he had a whole lot of options out there that were
38.
wanting to pay him. Yeah, he's up there. I think
Yeah.
he's at 37, 38, something like that.
And I mean, he's just a temporary fix for them.
Yep.
Right.
But again, it goes into that Super Bowl window, right? It's like, well, we got a good defense line, we've got running game. Their receivers aren't that great, but they do have as a collective unit,
Right.
not bad.
Right.
So
I agree. Yeah, I think it's a close game.
It's
And-
kind of what like Tampa Bay did with Tom Brady, right? So
Yep.
let's just bring it. We know he's not the long-term solution, but we have a window, right? So we've got the pieces. We just need somebody who can, like you said before, just don't lose us the game.
right.
So
All right, so we got what? Win, loss?
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so three of
Sorry.
us got us sitting at 3-2, one at 2-3.
All right, so that moves us into our first game against the Steelers
Ugh.
at Pittsburgh. I will go first here, and I might surprise some people. I'm going to pick us to win this game.
Really? At Heinz Field.
I think Ben Roethlisberger's hurt by this point. I don't think like James Conner's that great. I don't think Juju's that great. So I think Le'Veon Bell made these guys good. I think Antonio Brown made Juju good. And
I don't argue that.
And
Yeah.
they have a very good – I see this being a low-scoring affair. And I think our defense, their defense is better than our defense most likely.
Yeah,
But
they
I
got
think-
one of the top ones, I think, in the whole NFL.
I think our offense has a chance to be leaps and bounds better than their offense.
Quick side note on James Conner. Just whenever I heard about the opt-out options that these guys have, he was the first one that came to my mind as far as being somebody I could see opting out for the medical safety reasons with his cancer history. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Right.
And then who's their backup?
They got Jalen still, right?
Yeah, so
Jalen
Jalen
Samuels.
Samuels was
Is
there.
it still Benny still? Yeah.
Benny Snell.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the guy whose name was.
Anthony
Yeah.
McFarland.
When they were last
McFarland.
Yeah.
McFarland.
Hey, they were good last year with
Duck.
a run game.
And, yeah.
That was
Right.
it. Run game and defense and Duck Hodges.
Yeah,
so
but the AFC, they were good. They were competitive last year, but look how bad the Browns were and look how bad the Bengals were. And I think we all agree that the Browns are going to be better this year and the Bengals are going to be better this
I
year.
agree with that.
Yeah, so I got us. So going next, so over under win total for the Steelers going into this year is 9.
What's ours at? Is ours at 9 or 8?
Ours was at 9 as well. So they're sitting at 9. I think that the no fans plays a part in this game because Heinz Field with fans compared to none would be a big difference going in there. So I got us going in, and I can't pick the Steelers because my wife's a Steelers fan. I can't pick the Steelers.
Yeah,
So
you're
I'm
not giving her that satisfaction.
I'm picking Cleveland. I think that I think this is a low scoring game.
Yes.
I think this is a low
I agree.
14-10 type of slug it out, can't move the ball on their defense, but their offense isn't equipped enough to move the ball on our defense type of a game. And, I mean, it's another divisional game, always going to be close, I feel like. And Mike Tomlin, if there's a coach out there that, always has his team prepared no matter who they play, it's Mike Tomlin.
Not if you ask a Steelers fan. These spoiled brats. These Steelers fans.
They want him gone.
They want him gone.
Guys never had a losing season. Get him out of here.
Yeah. What a bunch of spoiled brats. We were making arguments last week for who was our better 4-12 coach. These guys have coaches.
Tomlin, he's out there tripping players on the sideline to help his team.
Yeah, he does whatever it takes. So, yeah. I don't get that at all with Steelers fans. I think Mike Tomlin's a very good coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
His free time, he helps Dr. House treat medical emergencies. So he's a good guy.
Justin, what do you got going on here?
So I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think it's going to be a lot like that first game under when it was with you, way back with the tie game, where it was just crazy. You couldn't believe it was going back and forth. Denzel's just diving all over the place, getting picks. Myles Garrett's murdering Roethlisberger, not with his helmet. I see. So they're so well coached and so well disciplined, and going to Pittsburgh, and I hate the Steelers. Nothing makes me sicker than thinking of them winning, but I see them edging us out slightly. It wouldn't shock me at all if it was a field goal at the end. Mm-hmm. It's not. The same thing, low scoring. I don't see it being a shootout. I disagree with you that Roethlisberger, I still think he's got a couple more seasons. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't see him coming out and struggling, and he doesn't have the weapons he had the last time he played.
But there's one guy as a Browns fan that you don't bet against.
How many times I'm like, oh, we're going to get him right here, and he just shrugs like three guys off. And
I get that, but before he got hurt last year, he was not playing well.
Well, I think that has to do with the weapons too, kind of like you pointed out.
But he does not have the weapons.
Juju's not for real.
Most talented wide receiver in football isn't on a team right now, and Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, Juju was getting, single coverages every time.
Wide open, yeah.
Think about Big Ben's career. He's had Hines Ward. He had, in his prime, Plaxico Burress.
Antonio Holmes.
Antonio Brown.
Heath Miller was the tight end forever.
Yeah, this guy's always had great wide receiver talent. This year, Juju is not that good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he struggles. He struggles now being the number one.
Yeah,
great number two.
I agree. Yeah, but they didn't bring in a number one.
Right.
So it's kind of like years past with Browns quarterbacks, where we thought we had an okay quarterback, but nobody's ever open.
Right.
So I don't know. Big Ben to me is first ballot Hall of Famer.
So you got win. I got win.
I'm going loss.
Josh?
Browns are not coming home with a victory on this one. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys, but...
And I want it.
So I'm listening to everything everybody's saying. Mike Tomlin's not going to lose this game. They'll beat us. I am not as down on Juju as what you are, Blake. I think that he had a down year. Dude was 22 years old last year. In his third year. Right?
Yep.
In the league. And it's like, he's young. He's a kid. Mm-hmm. And he's dealing with trying to transition to that number one role. And he had no time to transition. Yeah, because as soon as he was like, okay, let's try to get in a rhythm with Ben and figure this out, Ben's gone.
Yep.
Here's Mason Rudolph and then Duck Hodges. And it's like, what's going on here? A second year Deontay Johnson, who showed last year that he can be that new Juju that pushes Juju to the number one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now there's somebody else you really got to worry about. And James Washington's still capable. Yeah. I don't think he's a great receiver, but he's still something you got to worry about.
Yeah.
And defensively, I love the Browns, but I watched them last year struggle way too much on offense against good defenses that I can't bet on them right now. Not against Pittsburgh this early in the season. So I know this is going to be week 7 or game 7, but.
So we got 3 guys here with 3-3 records. Josh has got us at 2-4.
I'm starting to see how you don't think we're going to make the playoffs.
I thought you guys are 4-2.
Yeah.
No, you.
No.
We're 4-2.
You guys are 4-2. Justin's 3-3, and I'm 2-4.
Oh yeah. Because I took the win against. That's right. Yep. I got you. Yeah. So 4-2. 4-2. Josh has got us. Would have us thinking in that position like, well, we better win the next 2 because
gotta get back in this thing.
500.
We only need a 10-game win streak to make the playoffs. All right, so that brings us into our second matchup. We're going to knock out the the rival with the Bengals first half of the season. To me, not much has changed here. Win for the Browns. For all the same reasons I already said before. I think we're just an all-around better football team. I know we haven't seen Stefanski be a head coach yet, but my gut tells me he's a way better head coach than Taylor, and I just think we're all around better. And Rob Ninkovich can take a hike because until I see Joe Burrow actually do it on the football field, Baker's better than Joe Burrow.
All right, so I'm going to go out. I got us winning this game again against the Bengals. I think they're going to be better, but I don't think they're there yet. I think that Joe Burrow, what we think he's going to be, is he's their franchise guy. He's the start of the to get the machine running, but the rest of the parts aren't there yet. Okay, so they got their motor, but they're waiting on everything else to show up. So to say, I think that we win. I don't think that at this game here, I think by week 7, I think we're clicking, and I think we win by a couple scores.
So for me, this is the game after 3 straight losses, and you just came off a loss at Pittsburgh. I think Baker, Stefanski, the Browns, they come in, take care of business in Cincinnati, and I think we have a different conversation about Burrow at halfway point in the season.
As far as trending up,
I think he'll be trending neutral.
Oh,
so I don't think he's going to be the skyrocketing rookie that at this point people are going to start cooling on him.
Mm-hmm. So the hype for the Bengals isn't what it was for the Browns last year, but in some circles, especially Bengals fans, they're talking crazy talk. They're talking, playoffs and stuff like this. I see them being a lot like the Browns last year, where they added a lot of talent and people are expecting them to kind of take that jump, and they're going to win like 3 games.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Blake.
And then Taylor's getting fired.
If AJ Green's not hurt by week 2, he's definitely hurt by this game. He ain't playing in this game.
Yeah. So I'm not that high on the Bengals this year.
And like Cincinnati fans' defenses, though, they're a lot like us. Except they've had more success over the last 20 years. Like, they're very much on board with.
Well, they had a very stable head coaching situation.
Yeah, their ownership is trash, but their coaching was those Marvin. Like, say what you want about Marvin Lewis, all he did was get him to the playoffs every year. Now he couldn't get him past that. Whether you think it's Marvin Lewis or Andy Dalton or whatever you think the issue was, but so what I'll say about this is I see this being a game where we really start like putting the run game first, and I literally see us just pounding the run. I see Nick Chubb. It wouldn't shock me if him and Hunt both are just out there just pounding the ball on them, just smashing them. And then you have Burrow coming out and trying to just chuck the ball around, and I see Delpit maybe being in there. Some of these guys licking their chops. It's a rookie quarterback. I like the Browns a lot in this one. More than I actually probably like them in week 2, even if it's in Cincinnati.
All right, so now I got the Browns at 5-2 right now. I'm a big believer. I'm like an idiot.
Yeah. 5-2, 4-3, and I'm at 3-5.
Right.
So I think this will be our. Are we just going to do one more?
Yep, we're going to take it up to the bye, see where we're at the midway point of the league, and then when we come back next week, we'll do the second half of this.
Right.
So that takes us into the Raiders, last game before the bye week. And for me, I know like Peter King thinks the Raiders are like God's gift of football this year or something like that. And I'm probably picking the Browns to win too many games, but I just like our talent. I'm picking the Browns to win this game.
Big, tight, low scoring, high scoring. Where are you going?
Well, it's in Cleveland, so they got to come all the way east. It's November. It's probably a little bit colder. They're going to be an inside team. I see us winning by like a touchdown or so.
Okay, so this is one that I cannot wait to watch, and I've got the Browns just really beating the crap out of the Raiders.
Really?
Yes, because I think at this point the Raiders. I could honestly see Marcus Mariota being the starting quarterback at this point.
I like Derek Carr, though.
I know, but I don't think they do. And so here's the thing. The last time that I watched the Browns play the Raiders, Baker Mayfield's running down the field. He got smashed helmet to helmet and got up, and he was livid. Yeah. Livid. And then I watched the referee with a very stupid look on his face announced to the entire world that the quarterback was sliding, therefore he was allowed to be hit in the head.
I remember that.
Those were his words. Yeah. After all the rules had come down about no helmet-to-helmet contact, period, doesn't matter, under no circumstances, the referee said, therefore, he is allowed to be hit in the head.
I could not believe what I was hearing.
Well,
and then they robbed us that game.
Yeah.
It's the game that they literally robbed us of a win.
The first half of that season was so much fun because all those games were just like insane.
Honestly, Hugh Jackson has a grievance.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson, I had not a whole lot of respect for him at that point, but it was all gone because the dude just stood on the sideline.
Mm-hmm. I would have got kicked out of that game.
That's exactly what I said. I would have been thrown out as a head coach because I would have been losing my mind. You're going to hit my quarterback in the head and then say that's allowed to happen?
Yeah. Or I'm thinking you're going to give us the first down, and we obviously have the first down, and then you're going to take it away. Come on.
I see the Browns just steamrolling them. It's going to be nice.
What do you got, Justin?
I agree. I don't know about steamrolling them, but I definitely don't think that I don't see their roster being that great. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something or
look. I think they have some nice parts,
pieces. Yeah, but
to me, they're a bottom half of the league roster wise, and we're a top half of the league roster wise. I don't understand. Like Peter King had us at 22nd or something crazy, and he had them at 8th. Wasn't it 8th? There's no way
like
they have a top 10 roster.
Well, and the thing is, like we've talked about, it's so hard to rate rookies. Running backs. Okay, the running back position is not as hard to transition to. It's not as hard to learn new system or whatever. But receivers tough, and if you're going to claim that they have good weapons, all their weapons are rookies.
Yep, and not even proof like Ruggs.
Yeah.
If you're going to take a rookie, that wasn't the one to take. I mean, CD Lamb might have been like, oh, okay.
This I feel like is okay. So I got us at what we say 5-2.
5-2.
Good for you.
So this is that midpoint of the season. Okay, week 8, and you're sitting with a good record, going against a team that's probably close to 500, maybe a game or two under, and it's like almost one of those trap games you should win. Like you should go in, shouldn't have any problem beating the Las Vegas Raiders. But I think we struggle. I think this is a struggle. I think that the Raiders are going to score more points than what people think they're going to score because their tight end, he might be the best tight end in the league this year, Darren Waller. I mean, guy is unbelievable. Ruggs, we don't know. Derek Carr's got a big arm, and they still got Tyrell Williams. Tyrell Williams is no slouch either. Played well there, and Josh Jacobs is one of my favorite running backs.
Absolutely, he's so good.
So I think that they're going to score more points. Now, their defense, they got some good pieces. They had a lot of guys hurt. We got Carl Joseph from him, but they had Jonathan Abram was a top pick last year.
They got Randall, didn't they? Didn't we basically swap? Didn't they sign Demarius Randall?
I'll tell you right now because I got their roster pulled up. Oh, yep, they got Demarius Randall. Okay. They got that Jonathan Abram is a really good safety. He's kind of like a Jamal Adams, so he got hurt. He was in. If you watched Hard Knocks, he was one of the guys that was all a big focus. Rookie. And then Cleveland Farrell was supposed to be, a dynamic pass rusher. He kind of struggled last year, so I think they're going to score a lot more points than what people because I think that's just what the Raiders kind of do. John Gruden's a good coach, but I think we pull out a game. But I think it's closer than what we think, and I think it's like a 35-28, kind of a shootout towards the end of. Got you feeling like, man, like whoever gets the ball last in this game might win this game.
All right, so did everybody say what they thought here?
I think we all said win.
I'm on
win. I got us at 6-2. Blake's got us at 6-2.
You're
5-3.
5-3. Yep. And I got 4-4. So that's at the halfway point of the Browns season in 2020.
That takes us up.
Right. So we got 2 people at 6-2, 1 at 5-3, and 1 at 4-4. And I really want to hear what our listeners think about those. Records.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. Coming into this, I swear to God, I did no research. So I just pulled up this website and I'm just going off my gut, like what I'm thinking. So I did not know I was gonna have us winning 6 games before the bye week, but I just think on paper we're that good. So if you guys think I'm crazy, let me know.
Yeah, and just kind of previewing going to we got a tough kind of stretch coming up of games. Got a tough stretch. You got to play. The Texans, you got to play the Eagles, you got to play the Titans, you got to play the Ravens again.
So it's a tough stretch, but also a lot of not tough games in there.
Right.
I see it's literally like 2 extremes. Hey, these are some very, very competitive, nice test pieces if you're going to be a playoff team. then also here's some garbage teams for you.
Giants,
Jags,
Jaguars,
yeah.
So next week it'll be interesting to see kind of how we all finish up with our projected records for the Browns.
Right now, me and Blake, we're right in that playoff. We're right in the.
You guys are in the lead of the division apparently.
Yeah, we're in the division race.
Baltimore's winning every game.
All right.
That's what they're supposed to be favored in every game, I guess.
Yeah.
Before we end anything, we got to make sure we thank Ian Murphy one more time.
Yeah. Yes. Like I was going to mention the contest one more time. Yep. When we initially came up with this idea for the contest, we were going to buy one T-shirt out of our pockets, and Ian Murphy stepped up from Murphy and Company Insurance. He bought us 5 T-shirts, make this contest way bigger than we ever thought we were going to be able to do. Go check him out on Facebook. Give him a call. Like I said, I showed up to this guy's office with no insurance one day, and he got me a plan. I then proceeded to buy a new truck, total it, buy another new truck, and get $15,000 in damage in it, all in like 6 months.
So Blake's hard on vehicles. Yeah. So if you want to drop him off that insurance plan, we'll understand.
And this guy, I'm still on insurance with this guy, and he was with me through every step of the process with each wreck. He always gets back to me right away. So he's a really good dude to work with. Give him a call, and we can't thank him enough for sponsoring the contest.
Call him and do not get in the car with Blake.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Justin rode here with me today,
so
I'm making it really good.
So.
Wear your seatbelt on the way home.
I know.
So if Justin's not here next week.
Yeah.
We'll know why.
Yeah.
And then speaking of the contest, like I said at the beginning of the episode, you got till Saturday night, 11:59. Get your comments, your likes, your shares in. Win yourself a T-shirt in your size. I think it's a really fun contest. We got 5 of them to give away, and we're not looking to keep any for ourselves. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. For some reason, Zach hasn't posted the last episode to Twitter yet, even though it's halfway through the week, so we'll get on him for that. Please, on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We'll catch you guys next week when we do the second half of the schedule. Let us know what you think of the first half. Have a good week, everybody.